Hey everybody, we're back for another live stream, this time with Izzet Delver. Unfortunately, once again, a little bit of a powered down version. Traders having some problems keeping enough Mishra's Baubles in effect, but I just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody for viewing the live stream, or if you catch it later on YouTube as a rewatch. Thank you very much for y'all's support and all of the things with everything that's gone on the last couple of months. I greatly appreciate anyone tuning in and seeing how things are going. What's up, Space Predator? I'm glad to hear it's the deck you're playing, although I don't think I have probably your exact list here, as unfortunately I have Ops instead of Mishra's Baubles because Mana Traders unfortunately doesn't have them available. But we are going to be playing a variant of Delver tonight. No Ragavans, no Mishra's Baubles, but we are playing 4 copies of Darcy, 4 copies of Delver, 2 copies of Subtlety, and 4 copies of Murktide Regent. Obviously, powerful 3/3 flyer. It's +1/+1 for each instant and sorcery card exiled with it. So, we're playing a bunch of sorceries and instants. Very powerful things going on. Beyond that, we are playing 4 copies of a counterspell as well. This version that I found was not playing neither Force of Negation. So we're playing a little bit of a weaker version potentially, but just get some idea of what the deck is capable of. We played a little bit of Izzet Prowess the other day, maybe about a week ago or so. It's probably the first stream back where I was filling people in on what someone was going on. But yeah, we're playing Izzet Delver in Modern. We're going to be playing some practice room games, as we mostly do. Nothing too fancy. Bunch of cantrips, bunch of bolts, bunch of unholy heats, 4 Thought Scour, 4 Serum Visions. We have 4 Opt in place of the copies of Mishra's Bauble, 4 copies of Counterspell, 2 copies of Spell Pierce. So we have quite a bit of spell-based interaction. We have quite a bit of burn-based interaction. 4 copies of Expressive Iteration. 17 lands, including 3 basic islands. Kind of feeds into the sideboard. 4 copies of Soul Guide Lantern for any type of graveyard shenanigans or potentially mirror matches. 2 copies of Abrade for any type of chalice, also good against other creatures. 3 copies of Blood Moon, because there's plenty of things in the format that this still gets, including Amulet. 1 copy of Dispel, the 3rd copy of Spell Pierce, 1 copy of Flusterstorm. Basically pick whatever counterspell you want. And 3 copies of Ether Gust for any type of red shenanigans going on. So, that said, hopefully we'll have some interesting matches. And once again, wanted to thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody, it's greatly appreciated when people tune in and help out the stream here. So, that said, let's get into some matches. How's everyone doing this evening? Everyone that's viewing this later is doing well as well. Space Predator, it's always a pleasure to see you in chat. So, yeah, I'm sure cards are hard to find. My LGS, how's my F&M going? We're not really playing much of an F&M. This is more of a just like fun, have some stuff. How you doing, War Dog? Been a minute. I think last time I saw you, I was on Twitch. So, I think it's pretty reasonable. I think it's a keep. A little bit cantrippy. Could be some problems against a Hollow One deck, maybe? I have a feeling I'm about to get hit by a Smooth Criminal. Oh. As a zuzza buzza, what a was a, as a was a was a, as another was a. Alright, on the Rolled Cookbook. So, I guess we lead on Serum Visions. Ah, how'd that go for you? Yeah, unfortunately, working the schedule that I'm still working at Walmart, I don't get a chance to do too much as far as that kind of stuff myself either, so I feel for you a little bit. Subtlety is not a terrible draw. Didn't even notice we drew Subtlety. I think we pass here. I could obviously play Delver, but I probably just want to go... It's kind of hard here. Could play Delver and opt and hold up Subtlety. I think we need to get pressure down. I don't think we're going to win this game just playing a long game here. So our options were to hold up the cantrips and counterspell, or hold up Subtlety and hope that's enough here this turn. Nice. I rent cards on Moto. I've used Mana Traders for quite some time. I used to own Burn, but I sold out whenever I was taking a break, so. Faithless Salvaging, I don't know. I have not had a chance to play a deck that was playing it. I could see it being okay in, like, different various builds, but I haven't really seen anyone play much of it. Lightning Axe, sure. Okay, I obviously have no idea what I'm doing with Subtlety. Le Punt. So what were you running into at F&M, Wardog? Currently, actually, it's kind of useless. So the problem with Counterspell is the format is too... The problem with a card like Counterspell, the same thing you would say with a card like Mana Leak right now. Mana Leak oftentimes against faster decks like, say, Prowess, Burn, that kind of stuff, a lot of times was too slow, especially on the draw. The main power of a card like Counterspell is then against, say, a deck like, looks like we're going to get Oxed here, is against, say, a deck like Tron, or a deck like, yeah, we're getting Oxed. So, Is it Phoenix that also had monkeys? Okay. Not sure that solved Izzet Phoenix's problems, but okay. I was going to say, please don't have... I think you kept the wrong one. So the problem is I really want to keep up Counterspell, but I don't think I have enough cards in the yard to do that. Am I okay with letting both these Delvers go? I think so. I think holding up Counterspell is just too important here. Are we already dead on board anyway? 4, 8, no, we're dead on board anyway, so I really don't think it mattered what we did here. So I used to play a bunch of leagues before I took my hiatus. So, just lost to food tokens. The problem I had with leagues is, especially when you play a certain deck or two, if that deck isn't performing well, it gets really frustrating. And I only would play like 2 or 3 leagues a week, so I've just found that I prefer the practice rooms, especially when I'm switching between decks so often, that I'm pretty much playing for fun anyway, so it's kind of hard to play a ton of leagues when I don't play the same deck all the time. I'm presuming you mean Dragon Rage Chandler. Question is, what am I... Counterspell isn't actually that particularly good in this matchup, it doesn't seem. I'm just going to leave the Spell Pierces in because they do have some amount of thing. Counterspells could be okay, but I think I'm more interested in fighting over the board. Cut an iteration. Cut a random opt. I think they're better in different decks. I think Channeler is better in prowess or obviously more spell-based decks, whereas Monkey is a more powerful card on its own without really any deck restrictions. So I think the less spells you play, the better Monkey is. The more spells you play, the better Darcy is. But to answer your question, Kumar, I'm going to get back to leagues eventually once I get a better feel for the format. The big problem with Monkey is really expensive on MTGO right now. So, and it's also almost as hard to get a hold of as Burning Inquiry, sure. Lost a Murktide Regent, which is unfortunate. So I'm currently missing a instant, which she'll take care of. Binning a second... second Murktide Wrap Regent is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. There's a Neonate. Blazing at Rootwalla. War Dog always has some interesting decks, Kumar. So. Funny part is I don't think our opponent saw any Soul Guide Lanterns, so... Well, I try. Well, I have a feeling I would butcher your first name, so I figured I'd try with the one I'd have a better chance of pronouncing correctly. This hand is a... Presuming we don't get hit by Inquiry, this hand seems pretty reasonable. Sounds like an interesting list, War Dog. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit us with a Vengevine here. Yeah. So we're either going to be upbraiding something or we're going to be double thought scouring. Yuck. Sure. Well, that kind of sucked. Lost the Murktide Regent. I let the hollow one go. I probably should have considered subtletying it, but... If they have any kind of follow-up this turn, we're in a lot of trouble. I think we may actually have to kill the... yeah. Here's my 7/7. Can you beat it? No, I wasn't anticipating Chalice, but they had enough other artifacts in their deck that a Braid was almost a guaranteed shoe-in between Cookbook and Hollow One alone. Plus it kills most of their creatures. But they also aren't playing many 1-drops besides whatchamacallit either, so... Alright, there's Darcy. Yeah, I could see a grindy deck like that doing well. Okay. Oxyvaganus. Alright, go to 1. One is not 0. It seems pretty interesting. Gonna keep both of those so I can play Delver next turn and potentially flip the Delver. Cast Opt. Question is, do we want to keep Thought Scour? Not sure what our opponent's up to yet. Sure. Up against blue-white control, perhaps? They want a path? Fine. Should probably just go to combat first. It's obviously a risk here that they go like Counterspell into Threat, or like Teferi Time Raveler would be mildly annoying. So we're missing what? Creature? That's mildly annoying. Looks like we're up against blue-white control, maybe miracles. You can, it's up to you if you want to. You don't have to run fetches in a monocolor deck. It does thin, but thinning, yeah, it's debatable how much thinning does to things. Possible I should be holding on to these Delvers and such. Sure, we'll top a Delver. Not even that Counterspell is bad. It's just the format right now is not particularly favorable to it. Honestly, Force of Negation is probably better in a lot of spots than Counterspell right now. Okay. Path your last card. running a little bit low on threats. Yeah, they're going to get the field to ruin our fiery islet. I think I'm fine with that outcome. No reason to hold the land in our hand. Could get into scenarios where we want to cast a bunch of cantrips in a turn, so... That is subtlety. Not playing Darcy because I really don't want to run into a verdict if they're sandbagging it. So the only thing that gets us here is specifically another verdict. Don't think there's anything else in their deck that matters, so... Dispel seems reasonable, Flusterstorm seems reasonable... Spell Pierce seems reasonable. Soul Guides, debatable. Blood Moons, debatable. Okay, Subtlety. When it enters the battlefield, choose of up to one target creature or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Evoke, exile a blue card from your hand. There is a series of 5 of them. The black one is basically Thoughtseize. The white one is Path to Exile, or no, actually, sorry, Swords to Plowshares. The green one Exiles the opponent's graveyard or target player's graveyard. And I think that's it. And this one is basically Ether Gust for creatures and planeswalkers. Of course, my opponent has the all basic hand. Still think I'm supposed to jam Moon here. Opponent probably has some amount of purges in their deck. Yeah, I have nothing I can do about that right now. That was a reason to leave in more burn spells than we did. I think I left in 1 bolt and 2 unholy heats. Probably should have left in a little bit more because we knew about the stone forges. Now we're just going to lose to Batterskull. I think Modern Horizons 2 was very powerful, but I don't think it was as detrimental to the format as Modern Horizons 1 initially. Now, there's a lot of cards a lot of people want to see banned. A lot of people are talking about Darcy being too powerful, talking about Monkey being too powerful, talking about Urza's Saga being too powerful. This is rough because I actually want all 3 cards. We just have to race a Batterskull now. No problems. I don't think my opponent realized that that wasn't actually going to be a creature. Oh well. I think we'll play one more match tonight before I call it a stream. Definitely a weird game though. So I like to play first. This hand seems reasonable. We only have one threat, but one threat plus some cantrips. Alright, looks like we're up against one of the new oven variants. For 0? I feel like I want to counter this so they can't get what's his name, Azamanda Wada Hada Wada Automata Pia. Because that would just destroy our board. Nope. Apparently we're not just meant to flip this Delver. So basically, as a whatever, in combination with this, would just devastate our board as they're creating food tokens turn after turn. Because 2 food tokens with a 3/3 in play just guns down our creatures. Another one? I guess we can look for Spell Pierce. Alright, resolved. Man, we can't get this Delver to flip to save our lives. That's certainly a card I'm interested in drawing. Salty to hand, iteration, Murktide. Actually, I need to be a little bit more careful here. Wait, I can leave Delirium, land, opt, Surgeon's Counterspell. Asmore, Anmo, Mordecana, Mr. Nanacular. I have no idea. Just call him Asmoran for short. Or her. Not really sure. Now they get to start gunning down our board. Especially since they have this combination. Yep. So, that was up against the food deck. Apparently our opponent didn't want to play anymore. They were inspired by our awesomeness. No, but in all seriousness, that's one of the other decks that's been floating around. I haven't seen much of it. I've seen more of the blue variant, so I'm not quite sure how the Golgari version goes, but name for your Harry Potter fans. He who shall not be named. This deck seems fine. Obviously it's kind of hard to get a read without Mishra's Bauble, like how good this deck is. We beat up on, a variant of Hollow One, and we beat Blue-White Control, though that was dubious at best. Whether you want Force of Negations or not, obviously that's a matter of budget. Whether you want monkeys in this build or not, once again, that's also a matter of budget. Although Monkey is a very powerful card. As the particulars, once again, when you don't play enough of a list, it's kind of hard to, know about the specifics. But the deck overall, feels pretty powerful. We don't seem to have a problem finding a threat. Counterspell had some nice spots there, especially against Blue-White Control. How well it would fare against something like Prowess or the Black-Red Monkey Shadow deck, I don't know. Darcy, powerful card, Expressive Iteration. Card gets the crap abused out of it in Historic. Murktide Regent. I think we might have found the best Delve threat ever. Subtlety has its moments. The deck's interesting. Like I said, I'm more experienced with Prowess than I am with Delver, but, the deck feels powerful and functional. As to where it will be in the meta when the meta shakes out, hard to say. But I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out tonight. Wardog, Kumar, Space Predator, or anybody else I missed in chat today. Nope, looks like it was mostly Kumar and Wardog for the last half hour or so. But, just my whale busy. I'm sorry, Wardog, I'm lost on that one. No, I wasn't dissing your joke. It was actually pretty cool, but he who shall not be named. Thanks for hanging out, Kumar. It was great to get to know you a little bit. I'm going to try to stream a couple nights a week around this time. I still haven't gotten fully when I'll be back streaming schedule, just because work and job hunting in my field and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, we're going to get back into Modern, do a little bit of arena stuff here and there. So I want to thank you all for hanging out tonight. Greatly appreciated, whether it's morning, evening, wherever you are. It's kind of night here, so I greatly appreciate that, Kumar, and you're welcome to anytime. So thanks everybody for hanging out. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope to see you in the next stream. Oh, the whale that I play in Legacy that has Delve, can't remember its name right now. Gurmag Angler? Technically, I think it's a zombie fish, but anyways, y'all have a good night. This has been John for MTG Nexus.